Oh, but the tea is piping hot. If you're thinking to yourself, Sammy, that was cock cringy, well, all I have to say is I know. I am aware. Also, there's nothing in here. So not only am I cringy, I'm also a liar. I've been trying to make this video for the entire week. I filmed so many renditions. And honestly, I can't do it anymore. I can't go through this again. So however this video comes out, that is the way it's going to come out. Okay? I can't go through this again. Now, if you read the title of the video and you saw the thumbnail, you probably know that we are here finally to talk about the It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively drama. And I've avoided it up until now for a couple of reasons. One of the things that I've noticed that is quite literally insane to me is when people on the interwebs start talking about this case and they give their opinions, if they give reasons to why they believe Justin Baldoni, people would say, you are against women. You are anti-feminist. Oh, but this person was also Team Amber Heard. And I'm like, first of all, this isn't Twilight. Ooh, I'm Team Jacob or Team Edward. This is real life important things that we need to talk about. You might think, why do we care? Why do we keep talking about these rich people with their stupid rich lives? Because this is important. I feel like this is important. We need to talk about it because I feel like it brings up a cultural phenomenon that we have created where you cannot criticize a woman without being labeled as misogynistic, internalized misogyny, all right, anti-feminist. You are not a girl's girl. You're a pick-me girl. All this cock and stupidity, quite frankly. Just so that everyone knows where I stand, okay? I'm not against women. I root for women. I think I'm a girl's girl. That does not mean that I'm not going to criticize women when they do criticize worthy things. Okay? I am not a fan of toxic feminism. Not even slightly. I'm not a fan of women using feminism as a weapon to get what they want or to destroy a man just for the sake of getting ahead. You know? That doesn't mean I'm against women. And if you are an OG follower of mine, you would know that I was quite vocal about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. And the reason for that is I felt like I knew enough about the case to talk about it. I followed it from the very beginning. And when I say very beginning, I mean before Johnny Depp filed the lawsuit. Like from the moment the allegations came out, and there was a bunch of independent journalists and YouTubers and people doing research into this case and voicemails and recordings and stuff coming out, all these things. I followed it from the beginning. I followed the trial from the beginning. And I am shocked emoji face that there are still people who are like, yeah, we stand behind you, Amber. She is horrible. She's horrible. This is not just like a personality trait or just maybe something like a tiny little mistake. Like this is what she did was awful. And saying that doesn't mean that you are against women. Okay? Now that I got that out of the way, with this case, I did not know enough to talk about it up until now, and I also didn't jump at the opportunity to research it because I didn't want to be called misogynistic on the internet. But then I realized I don't care what you say, the internet, because this is a subject that needs to be talked about. Okay? So I'm going to go through the general timeline of events, how I perceived it. And this is probably going to be a multi-part series, unfortunately, because originally my plan was one video where I tell you everything you need to know. But I came to the conclusion that that is impossible. That is just impossible. There's too much information to go through. So let's just start with the timeline for now. The first video is going to be the general timeline and how I perceived things and found things out. And then from there, we will do different episodes where we go through Blake Lively's court filing, her lawsuit, Justin's lawsuit, articles by mainstream media, the PDF document, the relevant timeline of events that Justin's team put on the website, all that things. So we're going to end this series that I don't know how many parts it's going to be. It depends on how long it takes to tell you everything. In this series, we're going to talk about everything surrounding this case. Okay, so let's get into it. Everything starts with a book. It ends with Us by Colleen Hoover. As far as I understand, she is quite a controversial author. And from what I see on the interwebs, people kind of claim that she romanticizes DV in her books. Now, this is the first and only book that I've read by Colleen Hoover. I'm an avid reader. I love reading. My favorite genres is romance, dark romance, romantic suspense, and thriller. So this kind of was right up my reading alley. Okay. Also, because I read a lot of dark romance, this wasn't too heavy for me that I felt like triggered by it, if that makes sense. I read a lot of dark books. I don't know why. I'm not a therapist. I'm just telling you what I read. So the other reason why I've avoided looking into this case is because I wasn't ready for Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds to be ruined in my eyes. I didn't want to research it for in case maybe Blake is the bad guy, and I didn't want that because I really was a fan of both of them, Blake and Ryan Reynolds. And in my defense, I have to say that I'm not like clued up about celebrities, and I do not like idolize celebrities and know everything about them. I may be a fan, like I like their work, or I like something about them, or I think they are attractive or whatever, but I do not idolize celebrities because they are just people with faults and who makes mistakes, and I think sometimes we hold them to an unrealistic standard. We are like, oh, you are so out of touch. Of course they are. They do not have the same lived-in experiences as us normal, everyday, common people. Of course they are out of touch. Of course they can't empathize with Jan Alleman because they are not Jan Alleman. You know what I'm saying? Am I getting off track? Probably. That's going to happen often. I'm just saying I do not idolize these people. And I'm also, I think, not overly judgmental when they make mistakes. Because again, they are people. And I don't think they should be held to a higher standard because they are famous. I think we need to realize that they are not perfect idols. And we should stop looking up to them as if they are like deities or something. Okay? But every now and again, a person comes past or comes by, and it's like, okay, this is not just a tiny mistake, this person is evil. I'm using that term, I know it sounds dramatic, but every now and then, you're like, oh, this person is psychotic, narcissistic, evil. That's how I felt with Amber Heard. So I didn't want Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds to be ruined in my eyes, so I kind of stuck my head in the sand, but I couldn't do it anymore. I needed to know what's whatting. And I started researching the case. Before all of this happened, I'm skipping ahead now, I saw that this book is being made into a movie and Blake Lively is going to be in it. And I was like, sign me up. Love Blake Lively. I'm a big fan. I thought she was so beautiful. If she's in a movie, I'm watching it. I'm not even a fashion girly, but I looked forward to see what she was wearing at the Met Gala every year. So I loved her. I loved Ryan Reynolds. I loved them as a couple. I didn't really follow, I never saw interviews by Blake or any such things. I saw the way they would banter and mock each other online, she and Ryan, and I thought it was funny and endearing, and, I loved them. So when I saw she was going to be in this movie, I thought, okay, this is right up my alley. So 2 days before the premiere of the movie, which I went to in Joburg, I thought, okay, I have to read the book before watching the movie. It's a rule. It's a self-imposed rule, but it's a rule. So I got the book, read the book. Now, I'm quite grateful, actually, that I went into the book and the movie without being aware of any of the drama. So I avoided any content about the book or the movie to avoid spoilers. So I wasn't aware of any drama. So I went into it without any preconceived notions. Whilst reading this book, there wasn't a second or a single part of me who thought this romanticized DV. Let me just say that. I thought the book was good. I thought it really showcased how complex this issue is. Okay, because a lot of times, unfortunately, these relationships and situations are very romantic at the start. The abusive person can be so charismatic and romantic. They can make you feel like a princess and everything's wonderful until it's not. And that is the whole reason that you get gaslit into thinking that maybe you're being dramatic, or maybe it's your fault, or maybe you're remembering it wrong, or whatever. I thought this was a really good representation of DV because it's a wide spectrum of things that happens. No two people's experiences are exactly the same. So anyway, I enjoyed the book. I thought it was good. This is the only Colleen Hoover book I read, so I can't speak on her other work. I do own 2 of her books. I've Verity and Ugly Love, but it's on my never-ending TBR. So this is the only book I have to reference of this author. So then I went and watched the movie, again, blissfully unaware of any drama. And I did not hate the movie, guys. I really didn't. I feel like if I watch it now, I might feel differently, or I might see things I didn't see then. I only saw it the once in theaters. I wasn't a fan of Lily Bloom's wardrobe. I think everyone can agree on that. I thought, what the hell is that? That is not Book Lily. What is she wearing? I wasn't a fan of that. I also felt that the film was made to be a lot lighter than the book, but I thought that was kind of on purpose, to make it a bit more palatable, which, I mean, it shouldn't be. It's not a palatable subject, but it was a lot lighter than the book. And also, I thought it was on purpose to do the whole unreliable narrator thing in the movie, where all the events is showcased a lot lighter than it actually was, and then at the end you see what actually happened and how she perceived it while it was happening, while trying to convince herself that it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? So I thought all of that was done on purpose. I didn't hate the movie. Looking back on a few clips, I can see some of the things that people are talking about that was cringy and weird, like her giggling when he said he's a neurosurgeon. Ha ha ha, hilarious. Why are you laughing? That's weird. But watching the movie without any drama, it wasn't a bad experience. I quite liked it. I didn't like it as much as the book, but I feel like that's always. Okay. So with all of that being said, watch the book, read the book, watch the movie. Okay, great. Now I can start watching content. And this is where I saw, oh, okay, everything is not hunky-danky. That's not the saying, hunky-dory. There's drama. So I'm going to quickly go through what was the timeline of events. And yeah, so the first thing I saw was that people were not happy with the way that Blake Lively was promoting this movie. This is a serious subject matter. It's a movie about DV. It's serious, and she's promoting it like a rom-com. She's all there, grab your friends and your florals, come and watch the movie.
It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
What comes to mind isn't so much about the work that went into it, but about the why behind it. If a Lily Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than was made for her, maybe she sees herself on that screen and chooses something different for herself, that's why I made the movie.
She did not give a single, real answer to questions about the book. Everything was very light, and it looked like she was trying to promote this movie as if it's the Barbie movie, which not the same thing at all, you know? So that was one thing that people kind of was upset about. Also, it started to look like she really had a mean streak. Like, the way she would answer some questions was just odd. Specifically, the one that I saw that I thought, even though I was still trying to defend her, I was like, maybe, maybe she was told to promote it like that. Maybe it was just a joke. Maybe she's just a bit out of touch. Like, whatever. I was trying to make excuses for her. But the one interview where I was like, whoa, is when the interview person asked a really valid question about if someone watches this movie and they feel like this represents them in real life, they really feel like it touched them, and they meet you and what is the correct way to approach you about the subject? And Blake was like, what, do you want my location? Must I give you my number? She had this snarky, rude, condescending answer.
If someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for my address or my phone number or my location share? Or I could just location share you and then we could
And I was like, yeah, that's not it. That is not it at all. There's also a lot of rumors to this day swirling around that she never read the book, and I would not be surprised. Also, she started promoting her hair care line and her alcohol brand at these events about a book about DV, and people were like, madam, that's not cool. Around the same time, rumors came out. There was articles from sources, that was Justin Baldoni fat shamed Blake Lively, and also she felt that kissing scenes lingered too long. That was, I think, a TMZ article that came out, and this comes after eagle-eyed viewers realized or noticed that all of the cast unfollowed Justin Baldoni on Instagram. This is such a high school thing for me. Oh, this one unfollowed this one. I'm like, who gives a crap? At that point, I was like, really? I don't even know who I follow on Instagram. But it's a thing in Hollywood. If someone unfollows someone, there's something there type of effect. So after people noticed this, guys, if there's noise, I haven't soundproofed yet, so just ignore it. I don't know what that noise is. Is someone on the roof? If you hear that, just ignore it. Anyway, so around this time when people noticed that everyone unfollowed Justin, this article came out. Blake felt that kisses lingered too long, and also he fat shamed her. So basically he went behind her back to her trainer, her personal trainer, without her knowledge, and pressured him that Blake needed to lose weight in 2 weeks. That's now the articles that's coming out. And now everyone's kind of on different spectrums of who to believe, what. Everyone's kind of asking what's going on. But at this point, a lot of people started sharing old interviews by Blake Lively and things she would say, and it just kind of showcased that she's not really a nice person, that she's never been a nice person. And with the amount of things that came out about her, I was like, how did I miss this? But then I realized I don't think I ever watched an interview by her. But there was a lot of problematic things, and she must have an amazing PR team, because this has been going on for years and years and years, and you know, she just kept being the sweetheart of the Met Gala, you know. So that interview that was posted, that came out, the old interview, where the reporter lady said to her, congratulations on your little bump, because she was like 8 months pregnant. It wasn't secret or anything. And she was so rude and condescending and awful to this reporter. And she and the woman, I can't remember her name. I know her face, but I don't know her name. Anyway, they were in the movie together. It was a period piece of the 1920s or something. So obviously, one of the questions was, did you love wearing those outfits and stuff? And Blake and this woman just spoke amongst themselves about, would they ask a man this question? And they iced the reporter out. It is so hard to watch. I felt so sorry for that reporter. If I was in her shoes, I would have cried immediately. I would have cried. They were so mean to this reporter lady for no reason.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are
You
you
like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so like visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, working in digital.
Everyone wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He has
suits
some
and
beautiful.
how
That's what I'm saying.
he
His wardrobe was beautiful.
I know.
Corey's
Everybody.
wardrobe
I
was
know.
gorgeous.
He's
Those
so great.
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I wish men
And
wore
sorry,
high-waisted
too.
pants
I
like that
know.
still. The father with his tank top in bed.
It's so good.
Just like, it's just like
Did you
that.
catch
You could feel
the
it.
tablecloth on the light in the Italian restaurant when they eat spaghetti?
I didn't
and
notice that. No.
There's
So
so
I
much
feel like-
warmth of everything, you know.
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation, but it's like,
And when Blake said, I wonder if they would ask a man this question, I just rolled my eyes so much. I'm like, no, this is going too bloody far. All right? We are taking feminism, original, pure feminism, and we are turning it into something completely ridiculous at this point. I'm very sorry. Would they ask a man this question? It's relevant to the movie matter. And you are on the red carpet and you are a self-proclaimed fashionista.
I just really loved those patchwork like jeans that you have.
Magnolia Pearl.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my real life jeans.
Yeah, a lot of that is like your stuff.
The boots were mine.
I love the
There's these great Louboutins that are also a close-up on them when we're dancing in the bar. Those are mine. I have a few of my husband's shirts and socks randomly in the movie. I have some of Gigi Hadid's sweaters in the movie.
That pink one.
Yeah,
I love that.
she has she has this line, guest in residence, but also like she would run out and I would be like, I want this one because all the like really cool patterns and whatnot. So she was like, I have that, you can wear mine. So some of that, and yeah, I don't know, there's a lot of my.
Of course, people are going to ask about your outfits. Bloody. If it's a movie that's like an Oscar-nominated movie where you are like a serious role where you, then I would understand if the the questions about outfits is stupid, but in this case, it was relevant. That was so mean. Also, clips came out. The one that made me also go, whoa, is where she basically on a panel made a dig at, what's her name? Who played Blair in Gossip Girl. What's her name again? I love her, by the way. Please don't let anything come out about her, because everyone I love keeps doing bad things. What's her name again? I can't remember, but she's so unproblematic and kind, and you can't find a single bad thing about her. And she was the best actress in Gossip Girl. I liked Gossip Girl, but I never understood why she wasn't bigger in the industry, because she's really, really amazing. But anyway, so on a panel in front of people, Blake made a dig at her about starting out in a cage. For those of you who don't know, she was born in prison. And I'm like, what type of person does that? And I remember there's always been rumors that they didn't get along. And I thought that it's people, just looking for drama. But I believe it now. There was also rumors that she didn't get along with Anna Kendrick in a simple favor. I kind of believe it now. So my point is, a lot of old articles and stuff came out, and it became clear that she's never been a nice person. Also, a lot of things where she kind of told on herself, where she admitted in an interview that she misrepresents herself when auditioning for movies or whatever. She makes them believe that she's just going to be the actress, but then she takes over and writes and produces or whatever. I'm paraphrasing.
They just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull, because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
But she admitted that she pulls the rug out under people because she believes that she should be hired for more. But then she makes them believe that she's just going to be an actress. One of the worst things that I saw that came out is where she admitted in an article, in an interview, that she didn't like, what's his name, Penn what's a what from You, and who was her Gossip Girl co-star, and they dated, that guy. She admitted that she was unhappy when they hired him for Gossip Girl. She was upset about it. So she poisoned the whole cast against him. This is her words. I poisoned the whole cast against him. But then they realized that he's not a bad person. And I also kind of realized it, but it took me a week to admit it. And I'm like, what type of person are you? So there she admitted that she tried to poison the whole cast against this man for no other reason that she didn't want him there. Okay, wow. So with all of this coming out, people are like, okay, she's awful. We don't like her. She's mean. You're a meanie, madam.
Life is too short to work with people who are assholes. Sorry to for that to be the word of the day, but it is. It's like, I want to work with nice people.
And this is when she realizes that her reputation is taking a knock. And she could not believe that this is her own doing. She could not believe that people are turning against her because they realize that she's mean and awful. No, that can't be. Justin Baldoni must have done a smear campaign against me. That is the only logical answer. So This is now the timeline of events. I'm going to read it to you. Where's my phone? So that I make sure I get everything correctly. Bloop, 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 bloop. I have a kink in my neck. That's not fun. Alright. So, relevant timeline of events. So, the 20th of December 2024, right before Christmas. Dick move, Blake. But anyway, Blake Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department alleging sexual harassment and retaliation by her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni. On the 21st of December, the very next day, the New York Times published an article accusing Baldoni and producer Jamie Heath of hiring a crisis management experts to destroy Lively's reputation. In response, Baldoni denied the allegations, and his lawyer described Lively's claims as completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious. On the same day, talent agency WME dropped Baldoni as a client, and author Colleen Hoover publicly supported Lively. Okay. Now, when this article came out, guys, I was like, wow. So this guy's a creep. It made him seem like a creep. And I was like, oh, this just goes to show how people can silence people and smear them in the media. Shame on you, Justin. This is where I was at. I believed her. I believed her 100%. I was on her side. I was like, this guy is gross. Ew. Brother, ew. Ne? Just to kind of go over what this complaint alleged. So just to be clear, it's not a lawsuit. At this point, it's a complaint. So the first thing that people started to question very early on was a complaint like that is not public record. So it had to be leaked by Lively's side to the New York Times. It's not public record. Where did they find this, first of all? So this complaint with the California Civil Rights Department included claims of sexual harassment. Lively accused Justin Baldoni of creating a hostile work environment during the production of the It Ends With Us movie, citing inappropriate sexual comments and boundary violations. Uninvited trailer entries. She alleged that Baldoni and producer Jamie Heath entered her makeup trailer without permission while she was undressed and breastfeeding. I mean, when you read this, and this was also in that article, you're like, that is gross. What pervy people. Retaliation and smear campaign. Smear. Yeah, it's a gross word. Lively claimed that after she raised concerns, Baldoni and his team orchestrated a public retaliation. Involvement of PR representatives, blah, blah, blah. So then the New York Times article came out and said we can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine, detailing these allegations, suggesting a coordinated effort by Baldoni to undermine Lively's career. So in this in this New York Times article, there was screenshots of messages between Justin Baldoni and his PR team, which just made it seem like he was just out there to silence her and to ruin her reputation, what. So, back to the timeline. So, December 21st, the New York Times article came out. Also around this time, when the article came out, internet sleuths saw on this website that the metadata of some of the pictures showed that the pictures were created before the complaint was even filed. So it would seem, allegedly, per ongeluk allegedly, don't sue me, that those pictures, the artwork for this article, were created before the complaint was even filed. So they would have to have had knowledge about the complaint before it was even filed. They obviously denied this. They were like, me, you are not an expert. It's a mistake by Google. Anyway, the 31st of December, Lively escalated the matter by filing a federal lawsuit against Baldoni, his studio wayfarer, and his public relations representatives, Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel, alleging sexual harassment and defamation. The day after, on the 1st of January 2025, Baldoni countered by filing a $250 million libel suit against the New York Times, accusing the publication of pushing unverified and self-serving narrative and ignoring evidence that disputed Lively's claims. On the 16th of January 2025, Baldoni's attorneys announced a $400 million lawsuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin.
Alleging civil extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. On the 27th of January, the judge consolidated the cases under Lively versus Baldoni, ETAL. I don't know what that means. And it's scheduled for the 9th of March 2026. So I don't know why it needs to take this long, but whatever. The court case is next year. So this is basically the timeline of events. In next episodes, we're going to go through Blake Lively's complaint / lawsuit / amended lawsuit, and we're going to go through the counter lawsuit by Justin's side. We are also going to go through the relevant timelines of events as per Justin's team's website, because they came with receipts. Okay, they did not hearsay, objection hearsay. No. And they did show on this website where they were just like, okay, we are just going to show you everything. Here's all the messages, here's voice notes, here's pictures, everything. So in there you could you could see how text messages were altered or cropped in ways so that you don't see the full context. You can see how things were twisted by Lively's side. You can see lies being exposed, okay, and truths being twisted. I did try, as I said, to put everything into one video, but I haven't even managed to go through the entire timeline of events PDF document. I went through parts of it multiple times, and every time I would get really, really mad. I'm very upset about this case. And the more you learn, if you are anything like me, you will be upset too. Because this is awful. This is not just someone making a mistake or someone overreacting maybe. This is an orchestrated, awful, terrible thing. And I'm disgusted by it, quite frankly. So I'm going to go through everything, and I would like to hear you guys' thoughts. But for now, I think we'll end the video off here. You have the basics of the case, and then we'll go into more detail in next episodes. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want me to talk about surrounding this case. Let me know what you thought of this book, if you read it. Obviously, Blake Lively, if you're watching this, maybe you should have read it. I'm very mad. Also, if you are wondering, what does Ryan Reynolds have to do with this? I mean, he's her husband, but he wasn't in the movie. Why is he in the lawsuit? Hold on to your hats and tune in to this series, because there's something seriously wrong with these two people, Blake and Justin. No, Blake and... I keep doing that. What's his name? Ryan. Blake and Ryan, there's something seriously wrong with those two people. All right, we'll chat again later, and I need to go rest my voice. I'm out of voice juice. Chat again later. Okay, bye.